So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone around the world. This is Wraithkind back again with another D&D Forgotten Realms campaign episode, which is going to be awesome. I'm just saying, it's going to be awesome. And Banner, I'm not going to make you do the recap because of your voice, but I am going to look to either Beetle or Velis or Dawn today.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
What I remember most,
a large glass of wine.
what I remember most from last session is selling my entire inventory to purchase a magical ring in an effort that took about 45 minutes of real life negotiation. Is this what it felt like looking back, at least? However, I did acquire a ring of clairvoyance. And then immediately thereafter, we got rewarded from our previous quest and got a whole bunch of gold, which meant all of my sales were probably not needed. But hey, at least I'm not broke anymore.
I was gonna say something, but then I'm like, no, that would be too meta, so I just let it go, and I secretly kind of laughed at you.
It's okay. This was the stuff in my inventory that I hadn't used in so long that it was probably okay to get rid of it.
The most important part of what happened last time, Noah.
That was the most important part for me.
Beetle built a frickin' mechanical owlbear.
You did.
Literally just picking out the things that were important to their character.
Well, that's what I remember most.
Was our last game the 29th of September?
Mm-hmm.
The 30th, I think?
Also, I learned polymorph and turned into a giant toad.
This is where we had that 3-week break. Yeah. So, of course, as Matt or Banner noted that it seems that we remembered mostly things that were specific to our characters. So specific to Velis, there was a silver-haired bard at a what was the name of that tavern we went to in the Feywild?
Oh,
the Broken Elf.
Yeah, the Broken Elf. Oh no! That was
the Death's Respite.
No, he met her there and then took her to the other one.
Yeah,
I have the bard's name written down. It's like one of my 2 notes from last time.
Yeah,
her name was Jelana Nathera.
Yeah.
I gotta look at my notes.
Wow, you just made me realize I don't have any of my files open too, so now I'm scrambling.
So she told us the story. We sat and listened about the story of the 3 sisters.
Yeah.
And how the Fey Dark became, or how the Dark Fey became the Unseelie, and it was a wonderful thing. And then Velis decided to tell his story about how we saved. I'm gonna die if I don't remember Banner's love's name.
Talia.
Talia. Now Banner saved Talia with the merest amount of assistance from the rest of the protectors, and named the story for the love of Faye, and managed to perform well and provide an excellent story. Was that the day that I believe that was on toward the end of the
Yeah, that was last time.
adventure that day. So the rest of the adventure of the day was when we actually helped Banner save Talia. And, oh no, the very start of it was when was the end of us saving Talia, and she brought us back to her castle or close to her castle using some kind of plane shift.
Something like that, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and those abilities are actually unfamiliar to you guys. Some of those are reminiscent of perhaps some of the abilities or spells you may be aware of, but on an altogether different level. So, yeah, that was a thing. So
I can do more if you want.
I think that about covers it, doesn't it?
There was some other stuff that happened.
Well, the Empress came herself to thank Banner at the end, which was kind of huge.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where we got the aforementioned gold.
Which you haven't actually gotten yet.
We got
Mechanic.
some magic items too.
Only mechanically.
Yeah. Yep. That happened. Actually, I'm trying to remember because it's been 3 weeks, right? I'm trying to remember where I remember where Banner was, where we left off with him, or where he left off. But I'm trying to remember where the rest of you are. I think the rest
I'm
of
in
you
the
are
market.
actually in town, right?
I'm in the
I believe
market.
so.
Yeah, yeah. So Dawn, you're in the market. Beetle and Velas, where are you two?
I'm in a nice like park bench area trying to teach Tank how to high five, and it's like,
Yeah, you just hear this almost like how you, if you were to hit like this, like a sheet of sheet metal with that kind of pong sound. That's what it sounds like, and every time you do so, you get some nasty looks from the star elves in the place. Kind of like, how dare you?
I'm worried you're gonna get arrested with that thing. This is like some sort of menace that's like
Says
clonking
the
its way
elf
around.
who's tried to steal drift globes, among other magic items, while here.
I considered it, but I didn't actually attempt it. There's a big difference.
And yeah, so that happened, and it should be noted that none of you have seen Banner for quite a while now. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure you guys know where he's at this point.
It's okay. I don't know where any of the other
Um,
people are anyway. I'm just kind of wandering around.
You're muted, Julie.
I'm gonna tell Tank to sniff out Dawn. I would have had him get everybody's scent because he's supposedly really good at tracking my scent. So I'm gonna see if he can find her for me.
All right.
I'm just gonna head back to our place because I figure everyone's gonna meet up there eventually.
Oh, heading back to the Broken Elf Inn
Yeah.
or tavern.
No, that's closed. Emirati closed it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna wait around the area to see if anyone else was by, because
Fair
it's like
enough.
a place we all know.
Fair enough. So let's start by. I'm gonna start with you, Banner.
Okay. Well, Banner's gone for like the night because everything we did covers like
Yeah,
10
yeah.
hours.
I'm assuming that we're actually then I'm not gonna start with you. I'm gonna
No.
start with so Beetle, make a perception. You already did.
did.
Never mind. And you're looking for who in particular?
Dawn.
All right. Yeah. So you have Tank start sniffing around, and he does so. Much to the chagrin and upset of many of the merchants there, as he's like literally casting back and forth and back and forth, and kind of almost not even paying attention to the fact that he's shoving people aside, and
Mechanical owlbear training in progress.
you see a few guards kind of look alarmed at this rather large mechanical contraption making a mess of their perfectly fine and well ordered marketplace, and then it bounds off. Are you currently
Riding
on
him.
it? Yeah, so you it bounds off, and you're like holding
It's like a
on for
rodeo.
dear life at this point because it's going like full speed with the
This is so awesome.
and
How many pedestrians does it run over?
that's a good question. Apparently 4 different pedestrians are in various state of injury now, being left, kind of like being bowled over like bowling pins. Tank being the bowling ball as he just kind of trundles through, and by the time he reaches the Broken Elf Inn, where Dawn is sitting on a bench just outside the door, you hear more than a few raised voices and see more than a few raised fists in your direction, Beetle.
Sorry.
Uh, Don, you
Bear.
see, of course, the big owl bear clong, 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 clatter up. Yeah, he skids and cobblestone goes everywhere, leaving a very big mark in the pavement there.
Noticing that, not really noticing any of like the bother I've caused, but noticing the damage I've caused to the street, because that's how Beetle's mind works. She sets Bert to start repairing the street, and then she hops off. Tank slaps him, says, "Good boy."
It just kind of sits on its haunches, and
Oh, he's a good tank.
This is going to take some getting used to.
the tank's head like twirls like an owl's.
Oh my!
I don't think they spin around repeatedly like
He's
that.
the camera.
Yes.
Tanks does. It's on a
So-
cog.
Like a servos.
Yeah. So Velis, from your vantage point at the inn that you are currently in, which I actually have to look up. I have all the houses up. I don't need that. Oh yeah, the Traveler's Respite is where you're at. You hear the marketplace isn't too far away. It's the Traveler's Respite is actually a little bit secluded in an alleyway off of that. You do hear kind of this cacophony of raised voices and this clamoring and clanking, which is hard to miss because it's just so incredibly loud, especially in the tight confines of the market square. What do you do?
Well, there's one thing I want to look for. I want to look for a bag of holding to see if anybody has one there.
Okay.
And
Make
he'll put a portable hole in it.
an investigation check.
All righty. Not my best skill, but not bad. See how bad it rolls, though. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. You you find a lot of various merchants selling various magical junk, essentially. Odds and ends. You see this one crystal, you're like, oh, and you grab it, and it actually, as you went to grab it, it sparks and it zaps you, causing like the end of your index finger to turn black. From the and the merchant says, "My kind sir, don't touch you. I'm not responsible. I do not pay medical bills." And as you're kind of looking around, he goes, "Okay, well, I'll give you a silver for your injury."
A silver. I'm a musician. My right hand, even though I'm left-handed, my right hand could be considered the only way I can make money. My goodness, look at the blackened finger.
Do you not see the sign? It says Marfa's Magical Junk. How else can I say it?
Oh, it says magical junk, but does it say handle at your own risk? It does not.
Fine then. He takes down the sign and grabs a quill and scrawls a quick thing and puts it back up, and it says, "Do not touch."
Well, I believe I have witnesses that I could find for the right amount of coin to determine that it was just written on here just now.
He turns around, he blows frantically at the sign, trying to dry the ink.
How bad is my finger actually hurt? Is it something I really got to worry about, or?
No, it's just maybe
All right.
one point of damage, electrical damage.
Well,
He turns around and goes, "Huh. Well, I ain't paying for it. How can I
Well-
help you?"
I'm not really the litigious sort. So I think we can work this out between ourselves. Um, I am looking for something in particular.
Well, I've got many things in particular.
I'm looking for a container that can hold many items and not have a significant change in weight. I've heard them called bags of holding, I think, or pouches of plentiful space. I don't know.
Bags of whole power. Right. One moment. Don't touch anything. And he gets.
I've learned my lesson, good sir.
He goes behind a curtain and he pulls. You hear him kind of throwing stuff around, and you hear this squeak, 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 and he comes out with a little wooden cart that's kind of one wheel is kind of almost off of its axle and bent, and he's like kicking it. Here, he says, and on it there's a few just leather bags, and he goes, "These are bags of holding."
Really?
Indeed they are. And I will give you one bag of holding for 100 gold. That's it, just 100 gold.
May I test the bags to see if they are indeed bags of holding?
Why, you can. He picks up the bag, he opens the bag, and says, "Throw something in here."
Let me handle the bag, please.
Only if you're going to buy it, sir.
All
After
right,
all, you came in, you touched something, and you nearly got yourself killed. How am I supposed to know you're not going to kill yourself by sticking your head into it or something?
Well, how about I promise that I will not stick my head into the bag of holding, if it is indeed a bag of holding. Because you are the one that does not have a sign that until I acted as your legal counsel and told you the proper verbiage to put upon the sign, helped you with your continued existence as a business. So, I give you my word that I will not stick my head inside of this bag of holding.
Oh, wait. You said bag of hold. My apologies, kind sir. I little hard of hearing sometimes. My mind gets ahead of me. What? One moment. I've got something for you. Yes, a bag that's perfect for your needs. He steps back once again and he pulls a bag, and indeed, actually make a perception check.
Oh no! If it's magical, could I just do Arcana? That would be much better for me.
Nope. It's got to be perception.
Yeah, Velis and Arabathos equal on perception.
Yeah. It looks. So what you see is a bag, and it looks like it's got this face on it, and it's got like this. Where the satchel, where the clasp is, it's got a little horn or little peg that looks like it's through there, and the face looks like it's got teeth on it, and one eye is larger than the other, and
You've seen Beetle's bag of holding before, FYI.
It looks very, very similar to Beetle's bag of holding.
Fudge.
Sir, I feel badly. I misunderstood what you were saying. I will give you this bag for 50 gold. And that is it.
Well, as I said before, I would need to... Son of a biscuit. I've only got one choice, and it's gonna All right, look at them. Hey, I've got right now. I'm trying to decide in character, given his perception roll. He thinks it looks a lot like what Beetle has, and
It does look very similar.
given his naivete, shit. He does think 50 gold is a rather cheap price for it. So would he think twice about it? I think he might, given his experience with traveling with these folks, not because of the protectors, but because of people we've run across. So, son of a bitch. All right, so he buys it.
To be fair, let me do. Wow. Okay, so as you're considering, and your initial instinct is perhaps to go for it, there's a moment there, like this facial tick that, right at the corner of his eyes, kind of this kind of glints in his eyes, and that's the only sign that you have that there might be something more to this, but you really can't be sure. I rolled a natural 1, so I mean, you rolled a 4. It's hard to beat a 4. Apparently, it's easy to beat a 4. Apparently, I could not. So
Excellent. So, my good sir, due to my current experiences with a variety of different shop owners, not yourself, I believe you to be a perfectly honest and upright merchant. I mean, judging by how quickly you were willing to make the correct additions to your sign so that future customers wouldn't be injured. I understand that you are completely and worthy, an upstanding member of the mercantile society.
but
So,
of course, and this is hardly a markup for this bag. The one that I bought it off of. He was desperate almost to get rid of it. I don't really know why, but he told me it was a bag of holding, so here you go.
So I understand completely. So I would like for you to take this, and I look at him, this amazing dagger that I came across. And it's one of my, I think it's a +1 dagger we came across somewhere. And, oh no, it's just a regular dagger. My friends and I, we've traveled all over the plains. We found this in the ethereal plane, managed to actually get it off some Githyanki, if you know what those are. And so if you wouldn't mind testing that bag yourself by placing this in it. And I'll watch closely as you do it.
Very well, of course. Hold on, I gotta read a second.
This is going to be good. This is a thing that's happening.
Very well. Here, give it here.
I hand it to him.
Was I muted just then?
Yes.
I said, sure. Place a sharp object in a possible bag of holding. What could go wrong?
I mean, people store swords in them all the time.
Yeah, but you wrap the sword in like canvas or a sheath or something before you stick it in your bag of holding.
So he opens the bag and he. Man, I gotta read this again. All right. So he opens the bag, takes the dagger, and just drops it in.
It then explodes violently.
All right. Now, if you'd be so kind as to retrieve it.
Ah, very well. How do you do a private roll, Noel?
/GM roll.
Oh yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember.
Is that how you do it as a player too to the GM?
Yes.
Good to know.
I know my way around roll 20.
I
I've
know.
used it for far too long.
All right.
I think. Brian, tell me if you see this.
Yeah. I just did it kind of sort of. Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
So as he did we lose Jay?
Nope, I'm right here.
All right.
He's leaned out of frame.
He reaches into it to pull out the dagger.
And with his other hand reaches behind his back.
Oh my
And
god.
as he does so, you see this scaly hand all of a sudden shoot outside of the bag and wrap around this guy's forearm. And you hear him give this kind of startled squawk as he's like, "Help! Help!" And he's like struggling all of a sudden, trying to pull his arm off of the bag, and you see this like arm like coming out of the bag, and it's not a small arm. It's an arm that like fully fills the opening of the bag, and it's a very strong, muscular arm that ends in a talons. And what do you do?
I will take out my rapier and try to stab that arm for him.
All right, make an attack.
The merchant's arm or the weird arm?
We're about to find out.
As you lunge forward with a practice stab, your rapier does hit it, and it bends as it does not penetrate the natural scaled
Boing.
armor of this creature. Deep
Like a
within this
fencing foil.
bag, this massive disembodied voice roars in rage. And it fills this tent, and everyone around that's passing by and stuff stop and pauses and looks startled at in your direction to see a strange arm coming out of this bag that's much smaller than the arm. It lets the it lets the creature go, and it starts fumbling after you now, Velis, as it... wow, I did not expect this. What the world? I gotta look at...
Bellis, just leave him. He'll die, then you can take his stuff.
Yeah, so
Make
that
sure you get
happened.
Beetle a portable hole if he has one while you're there.
I gotta... Sorry, give me a second here. And he's going to swipe at you with disadvantage. Ooh, and he misses with a 9 as his hand just kind of barely misses you. At this point, the arm goes back to the merchant and then wraps around his throat and then just pulls back, and the merchant's gone and the bag is on the floor.
Pack up that tent, Jay.
Well,
Just kidding. It's probably all really dangerous crap.
Vel looks around. He's like,
That happened.
hey, things word. Is there anybody paying actual attention?
Well, by now you have more than a few star elves and a couple of humans looking in curiously at now. You're standing in the middle of a tent with odds and ends of magical junk, which looks to be an accurate assessment description, and no merchant in this bag on the floor.
Well, given everything I have created Velis to be about, he looks at the nearest person. And he kind of hangs his head. And he goes, "I'm going to pay for this. Would you mind getting a local member of the constabulary, a guard, or whatever it is you have in this town that passes for some sort of peacekeeping or police force?"
I hear you're so casual with the guy that just got into the bag.
One of the star elves looks over to one of the humans. He goes, "You, human, go get the guard." And the human kind of looks at him like, "Who do you think you are?" But then he turns and runs off towards the guard.
Is there a stool in here anywhere that doesn't look like it's something he's trying to sell?
Yeah, there's a three-legged stool in the corner where he was sitting before you arrived.
So sad
I'll
I'm
just
not
sit there, wait for the guard.
I could have saved the guy. Polymorphed him into a rat.
Beetle starts using message to see if anybody else in the party besides Dawn is nearby.
I don't think anyone's within 100 feet of us.
And with that, I'm going to leave you there, Velis, for a little bit.
Okay.
Beetle, as you do, the door to the Broken Elf opens. Emeraldi steps out, stretches. Well, he kind of pops his neck a couple times and says, "That was rougher than I thought it would be."
Okay.
Broken Elf is now open for business.
I killed Matt! Yay!
Just.
And Emeraldi rejoins you.
The funny thing is, it makes so much sense. Emeraldi is constantly oversharing our plans to people. For him to walk out of there and say that is just so on point. It just gets me.
And Lycum is there too. He's just kind of lounging around as his dire wolf in his dire wolf form.
I pet him.
Why don't we go find Velis?
Hey, what about Banner?
You should let him be loose.
I have a suspicion what Banner is up to, and I'm gonna leave Banner alone.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Fair.
actually, it's been quite a while. It's been pretty much. I mean, you guys left Emeraldi to his own devices for a few hours, and in the meantime, at the same time, Banner was left to his own devices. So it's been a while. Again, difficult to tell within the Feywild because there is no sun. Banner, you are, after a time, you are kindly transported back from whence you came at the Square Treant Inn. And not necessarily in it, but basically just outside, you show up in a kind of a column of sparklies and fairy lights. Yes, that is a technical term for this
engage.
one. Exactly. You are transported. There's a this kind of sounding. No, just kidding. No, but you are transporter. You are. Thank you. You got that word stuck in my head.
I'm
You are-
shimmered into existence.
You are teleported in the same manner as you
Talia,
left.
I assume, had to get back to the castle district.
Yeah, she went with you.
Oh, okay.
And she's there, and she says a quick goodbye. Because she does indeed have several, at least 2 months worth of catching up to do, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna find her again eventually anyway. So she's gonna lead us out, is what I mean,
Oh yeah,
according
yeah.
to her.
Yeah, she says she'll check back
Yeah.
on you.
Okay. So Banner, now that he's there, he goes up to Lena, or he goes back inside if he's outside, and he
Yeah.
finds Lena at the Square Trent, and he offers her. He just greets her, goes, Lena, thank you. Sorry about all that.
It's okay. Not feeling well, Benner.
It's been a long night. Anyway,
You do
Doing
look.
a lot of howling.
You look.
yes, a lot of howling at the moon.
You look strangely rested and tired at the same time. Congratulations.
He's glowing.
I wanted to, well, I was afraid about you losing your business, so I just wanted to offer you some of this that the Empress gave me, and I hand her 100 gold pieces.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. As far as the business, don't worry about it. I am now the only inn in all of the city to have hosted, at least for a small amount of time, the Empress. Of course, I won't say it that way. I will say that, of course, she enjoyed her lengthy stay here, but that's between you and I.
I like the way you think, Lena.
I am a business owner.
Well, I appreciate the hospitality, but I guess, well, I didn't need the room after all. So, but thank you anyway, and I need to go find my friends. But it was good seeing you again.
Well, you too, and fare thee well. Then she kind of shrugs, and it's a human thing. I wanted to try it. It's kind of stupid. Never mind. Just have a good day.
Banner just laughs, and he walks out. He's like,
All right.
his charms are limited right now because of my.
Yeah. So do you make your way back? Where are you going?
I guess I go towards the brook. I guess I just walk around and I don't see anybody, and I at least know where Emeraldy is, so I sort of maybe head that way to see if he's made his way out at this point.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, as you walk in, you see this kind of ew face on Beetle as Emeraldy is apparently overshared once again, and you join the rest of them. Notably absent, of course, Bellis. And as you guys are standing there, you see a couple of guards, all businesslike, kind of stalk by, going towards deeper into the merchant quarter, or trade district. I'm sorry, market district. I'll get it right sooner or later.
Hey, everybody. Well, almost everybody.
Well.
Well. What have you guys been doing all night, or whatever it's been for 5 hours?
I spent all of my money.
I put my arm up on Tank.
Oh, wait, you spent. Oh, speaking of money, well, here's some more. And I
Money?
give everyone
Really?
430 gold. And I say, well, the Empress showed up and thanked me and gave us all this, gave me all this for you all.
Wait for Brian's phone to.
Yes, it sounded very much like that. Her ethereal spirit twinkled into the inn. But so yeah, so weird. You won't believe this, but the Empress came into the city and thanked me.
That's
Like, in
incredible,
person?
but I feel like also warranted after what we did.
Fair.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go spend the rest of this money. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Off to the market.
Well, anyway, she also gave me some other things, but I think they're really suited for Velis and Lycum, actually. And where are? Oh, well, Lycum's there.
I'm petting.
We were
like
just going to look for Velis.
Where is Velis?
No idea. Tank, find Velis.
Velis. Oh, yeah. Make a perception check.
This is an advantage because it's smell.
Oh, yeah. He sniffs around and
Here's
quickly
Emeraldi.
follow. Hey, you just got back from your moment at the well, more than a moment, but your time at the Broken Elf Inn. But and you are all heading towards the same direction the guards went, and you are led to this large tent, and outside it says Melvin or Maffa's Magical Junk, and then underneath, quickly scrolled, it says do not touch. The guards, there's a crowd outside the entrance, and as you approach, the crowd looks at Tank and looks at Beetle on the tank, and
Make way! Make way!
all of them kind of scatter, and except for one armed and armored Star Elves that actually lowers his pike towards Tank in an alarmed look on his face.
We come in peace.
"Halt!"
I think my friend is in there.
There's just a human in here. Are you talking
Human?
about him?
Fancy pants looking guy with a instrument on his back.
It'll be him.
Yep. Is he okay? Velis!
At which time, Velis, switching over, the guards have arrived, and they demand to know immediately what is going on.
Well, my good friends, it does appear that that bag on the floor right there ain't the proprietor of this fine establishment.
Wow. The guy looks at you, and his eyes are just full of disbelief as he stares at you, and he goes, "The bag."
I would recommend that if you have, we are in the Feywild, so magic is abundant. But if you have a mage at arms or something like that, come and if you give me 10 minutes, I can identify this strange object. But I did not want to proceed any further until I had guards around so that I could try to make certain that no blame was placed upon me.
So you're telling me that this bag ate someone?
I believe that is what happened. What I saw was that the proprietor reached into the bag to retrieve a dagger he had put in there, and at that point, a large arm reached out and pulled him into the bag. I tried to save him by stabbing the arm with my rapier, but sadly, I am not a skilled fighter. I am, an entertainer.
Sir, so you told me that a bag ate the merchant. Now you're telling me an arm grabbed the merchant. Tell me, which one is the truth?
Well, it was a large, scaly arm, so I'm assuming that whatever it was very hungry and pulled him into the bag to eat him. So it may not have been the bag itself that ate him, but it may be something that is inside the bag that is currently eating him.
Sir, I've never heard such a ridiculous story in my life.
I understand completely. I wholeheartedly agree. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I look around at some of the people around. I know a bunch of you responded to the scream. Did anyone see the arm drag him into the bag?
You look around, and the crowd that was gathered around is gone. Replaced by one scared-looking guard with a lowered pike and a large mechanical owlbear suddenly barging into view, and Beetle with both hands upraised saying, "We come in peace!"
Alice!
That is my friend Beetle. I'm sure she will tell you what a fine and upstanding person I am, that I would not even deign to even think about lying to the gods.
I hop off Tank and say, Tank, stay!
He sits down. Boom.
And I walk into the tent.
All right. You see much the same thing as I just described. Empty tent, bunch of magical, junk anyway. You don't know if it's actually magical.
What a bunch of junk. What are you doing in here?
Well, I was looking for a bag of holding, and the proprietor of this shop, told me this was a bag of holding, and when he reached into it ate him.
Do you hold it up?
No, I'm not touching it.
Oh, is it like on the ground?
Yeah, it's on the floor right now.
I go look at it. Does it look like Beetle's bag of holding?
It looks very... make a perception check.
Can I do the same?
Yeah. You
I
can do
gingerly pick it up away from the opening.
Can I do an Arcana check, actually?
it.
To tell if I think it's really a bag of holding?
Do a perception check first and then an Arcana check. Oh, yeah. So both of you...
I'm holding it. Not like at the lip, but like I'm just gingerly picking it up and then...
Okay, so even though it's very similar, both of you can easily see or easily tell very marked difference with the face and its expression. Some of the pattern work is different. A lot of little details that escaped Velis and his excitement is now, apparent to you two.
Do you say this ate him?
Beetle, you know that this definitely is not a bag of holding.
This is not a bag of holding. I'm gonna touch it and cast Identify on it. I'm just gonna
Right,
use
as you're doing the 1 minute cast, I kind of just gingerly open and just like look inside the bag. I want to see is there like an echoing scream? Can I see this guy being devoured? Don doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, no. As you open the bag, you look
Make some
inside.
bad decisions today.
You see nothing. There's nothing inside the bag. It's just black.
I shoot a firebolt into the bag.
The firebolt hits the opening of the bag, and you hear and it's just gone.
Huh. That's all Don says.
Beetle, you would know this as a derivative of a bag of devouring.
Oh.
Basically, whenever a part of a living creature is placed in the bag, like a hand, there's a chance that something from some random plane of existence may try to grab it and either come out, and failing the attempt to come out either because it's too big or it fails a check or whatever, grabs the nearest thing that it can grab and pulls it in with a successful, mechanically speaking, a successful DC 15 strength check. It can pull it in. So, based on this information, realizing that all this information, you quickly realize that this poor merchant likely fell prey to this bag of devouring.
Okay. What am I going to do about that? Beetle really is bad at deception. But I really want to lie.
Are you at least see what happened?
Beetle wouldn't lie. Damn it, Beetle. Okay.
All Dawn knows
Julia-
is that it's not a bag of holding.
Yeah. This is a bag of devouring. That guy is either dead, eaten by whatever pulled him through, or on another plane of existence, running for his life right now. And I hand it to the guards and say, you guys might want to put this somewhere where people can't get eaten by it.
So, Brian,
Yeah.
while they're having this conversation and everyone's looking aghast at the bag, Dawn is going to glance around to see what else the merchant had for sale that no one is currently keeping an eye on right now.
Beetle's going to do it too. She's
Well,
going to cast...
you're talking to someone right now.
But I'm going to sleight of hand cast my invisible mage hand and see what I can snatch.
Beautiful.
What do I see? What do I see here?
Monster. Arcade.
Make a perception check.
Ha!
Um,
No,
I
airbag
only
was-
see whatever's on the very front of the shelves.
yeah, you don't see much of anything that actually leaps out at you. Hold on a sec.
Is it just like a potion bottle or something?
Yeah, you see you actually see a couple of spell scrolls. And at first you were kind of excited about it. And then you actually started kind of reading the spell scrolls. And you realize that one was just simply an acid splash spell scroll, and one was a message spell scroll.
Meh. I'll keep looking while they're talking.
All right, Julia, you were able to. Oh crap! That was a nice one too. Actually, so as you're trying to hand this bag of devouring to the guard like shifts the pike he was carrying over to his other hand, and he just kind of gingerly extends it, and like he's holding the bag of holding by its strap, and he goes, "Right,
Don't open that. I suggest delivering it to the Empress's. I imagine she has mages on staff. They'll know what to do with it.
I look at the guard before he leaves. I go, and one other thing, I hold up my hand, show him the blackened finger, and go, there are other items here that are dangerous simply to touch. So I would recommend that you confiscate all of these items before they damage someone or someone gets eaten by something else that may be in this
Well,
place.
if they're that dangerous, maybe you should have someone well-versed in magic assist.
In fact, both me and my companion here are very well versed in the identification of such dangerous objects, so
Indeed.
we would be happy to take care of flagging any sort of dangerous items for you, and upon your return could let you know which ones
Banner is leaning against a pillar.
would need to be dealt with.
Smirking.
all right."
I give him a
So,
winning smile.
As they say that, I look at him and go, obviously, my honesty cannot be questioned since, I waited for you guards to get here so that you may know about this, such a dangerous place.
all right, I don't know if I should do a persuasion check or a deception check, so I'm going to say do one of each.
You want me to do it, or who do you want to do
Well,
it?
Dawn's the one who made the request. Well,
Dawn, because she made the initial request.
I would
Alright.
say Dawn persuasion and Velas deception.
What am I making? A persuasion check?
Persuasion check, yeah.
Oh!
my gosh!
I am persuasive
Wow.
as fuck.
Dawn, you're my hero.
And
And
just
we
because I
just-
can,
we just-
I'm
we
gonna
just
bend luck
acquired
on
a
him.
shop of magic items.
Just because I can, I'm gonna bend luck on him.
This is not how Brian expected
lower-
tonight.
lower
to
Low
go.
whatever.
I
magic
know.
setting for the win.
And lower whatever his role is to parse that. By 2.
Yeah, well, no. He's
Oh,
he kind of holds the bag devouring and goes, "Right, I'll send guards by to check on you from time to time, and to make sure that nothing leaves this place. After all, if there's no merchant there to claim ownership, then it is the Empress's by default." And he
Of course.
turns on his heel and
We're more than
walks
happy
out.
to assist.
As he does so, he motions for the guard that was outside that was scared to death by your heretofore mentioned mechanical servant, and he kind of settles in by the front of the tent.
I put my hands on Dawn and Beetle's shoulders, and I look at the thing that hurt me, and I go, "Do not touch that.
Ooh, what is
That's what
it?
did this." And I hold up my blackened finger.
I touch him and cast Cure Wounds on his poor blackened finger.
You heal
wait,
1
wait.
point of damage.
Brian, there was like a desk that this merchant had, right? Or like somewhere that he like set up shop behind?
Basically, this is a large tent bisected by a fabric wall that's like a very heavy like canvas fabric, and there's a 3-legged stool towards the back. As you look in the back, you just see a bunch of crates and more junk. I mean, it all looks, at first glance, it all looks like junk to you.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt.
I have the ability to identify magic, but I really don't have the ability to figure out which one of these items is magical. If one of you can
Got
do
it. I spend 10 minutes and cast Detect Magic, and I start sorting what's magic from
Well,
what's
while
not.
she's doing that for 10 minutes, I would like to see if I can find whatever strong box that this individual kept his money in that from purchases that were.
Before Don goes for the strong box, Banner's got to say that Banner's going to go, "Okay, well, I'm going to leave you all to that now because I'm sort of an official champion now of House Deora."
You don't know we're doing anything weird.
I'm there.
I was very persuasive.
Oh, okay, sure. I know you, Don.
When has Don
I
stolen
don't
something
think you were
before in your
persuading
presence?
me. I
Well,
don't think that's how it works.
I think certain as a basic level of competency, I would assume certain characters are capable of logic.
But
Anyway,
I don't
Banner's
never
going to go
stolen
outside the
anything in
tent
front of these
and
people
just
before.
occupy himself because he feels a new sense. Whatever happened with Talia has given him a new sense of responsibility
It's just
All right.
and position.
Beetle, as you're sorting things, go ahead and make just a straight D20 roll.
well, I'm doing this
Not
during the 10
investigation?
minutes
No, just a straight
she's casting
D20
the
roll.
spell. So
Because
shouldn't-
if you, I'll get to you in a second. Okay.
Terrible.
Basically, with Detect Magic, you're looking around and you realize that this merchant's definition of magic versus your definition of magic are two very different things. As you're looking around, nothing looks magical, and then you start seeing like a faint aura, and as you're kind of digging through these mounds of things, you do find first one item and then a second item, and then finally a third item. Oh my god.
I set them aside like they don't look important,
Well,
and I start making.
the third item you find, you recognize it immediately. It is another bag of holding.
Okay.
But
Has Velas told me the story of what happened at this point?
Yeah, I told you when you walked in. I said I was looking for a bag of holding, and then he got eaten by that thing.
So I can Beetle, based on that, can she extrapolate that the guy was trying to sell him a fake bag of holding and he really had a real one?
I don't think he knew or he wouldn't have stuck
I
his
don't
hand
Or
in
he
it.
might
I don't
legitimately
think,
not have known, I
I
guess.
mean, looking around, they're literally just crates full of junk that he collected. Apparently, it's like one of those guys at the flea market, or these people at the flea market that literally have crates of just junk, and they're not even sure what they have. They're just like, anything in this crate. $1 or whatever, you know.
Okay.
And it's that kind of place.
I do my best to make sure that the guard does not see anything valuable that I pull out. I just kind of shove it aside like it's not valuable.
All right.
Emerald asks, have you guys seen any dwarven artifacts or anything this guy may have collected?
Nope,
All right.
not yet. I'll keep an eye out.
So, Beetle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish up with what you found real quick, and then we'll jump over to Dawn. Roll a d6. All right. So one of the things you find is a curious little looking packet. It's a fabric packet, and it's kind of it's folded over on one end, and there seems to be like this wooden, like clothespin, wooden clip, and you look in it, and it looks like there's a bunch of different dust in there. So you set that aside. And then, let's see. Where was that other one? Oh, yeah. I gotta find it. And you... You also see this bottle. It's a crystalline bottle. And it's filled with a kind of a pinkish substance, and it does give off this faint magical aura.
What's the school?
Gotta look it up.
Can Emeraldy look for anything dwarven in this junk?
Sure. Make a perception check. Enchantment is the aura on that one.
Is there perchance a bubble that looks like a heart in this?
Actually, yes. But but you do not know what that is.
Can I see if she knows what it is?
I thought you were trying to hide that you were saving them for now.
I am, but like as she's kind of digging through, she can kind of be like looking.
Make an Arcana check. Yeah, you know what this is. I'll give you that one. You're going to identify it anyway, so what's the point? Dawn.
Yes.
Did you make a perception check? I'm going to roll back.
No, I didn't. I haven't rolled anything yet.
Yeah, make a perception check. You're looking for the strong box, you said?
I'm looking for wherever this guy keeps his money.
Yeah. Actually, you don't even have to make a perception check. It's not that hard to find.
Right, he's like some more box or chest.
Yeah, it's a small chest. It's literally maybe this big.
Okay.
And it's got this little latch on it with a little lock on it. The lock is closed at the moment.
As one would expect in a store.
Yeah, you heft it. It's not very heavy.
I'm gonna try and find a key to the lock.
Okay,
Maybe
now
hid it in the
you
drawer
can
or
make a
something.
perception check.
Okay. Am I crazy? Where's perception? Okay, here it is. I couldn't find it on the list.
Yeah, you don't see any key or anything like that.
Okay, so after I glance around, don't see a key. How big is this chest?
It's not very big. Maybe a foot in length and 6 inches in height. It's just a small chest. It's like I said, it's about this big. If you can see on my camera, it's
Okay.
not that big.
I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna stuff it into my pack, which is now empty because I sold everything I own.
All right. Emeraldy, you.
I'm gonna add one.
The only thing that you're seeing
chest.
is some things are broken. There's cogs. There's a few other items. You do find this dagger, and it looked faintly dwarvish at first. Then you just kind of tossed it off as you realized that it didn't even have a maker's mark on it, and no self-respecting dwarf would not put his maker's mark on it. So you really didn't find any dwarven oriented things here in this predominantly Star Elven city.
I did have a question about my character after the fun night Emeraldi had.
Yeah.
And would there be any chance roll that there could be sometime in the future Emeraldi's love child?
He's asking if she's on the pill.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is definitely
That's
a
a
conversation.
DM decision right there.
That's
Yep.
that's
Some kind of decision right there.
That's a conversation that I will
I mean,
definitely
I
have.
I feel like
I
that's
don't know.
between the innkeeper and her chirurgeon, but okay.
That's right.
Make a roll to see how barrel you. No, just kidding.
Oh,
No.
I want to keep that roll hidden.
Yeah, we're
We're not
let's
rolling that.
let's have that conversation later. Now that's a conversation or a question I never thought I'd get.
I'm so
it-
glad Beetle's asexual.
If you are serious about that, I will definitely have a conversation about starting a family later.
In the Feywild.
I mean, I definitely
Awkward as
am.
that feels.
Well, no, I definitely am because, Emeraldi has a child in another plane of existence. That's kind of a challenge to his beliefs of Baranar a little bit because he's, again, leaving his family.
Good point. Good point. But like I said, let's have that conversation offline. And matter of fact, I will definitely talk to you immediately following this session if you want.
Yeah, no problem. Just
concerning
a fun question.
all right. So, having spent the better part of, let's say, a half hour, 45 minutes quickly rifling through things, and the guard kind of sternly gazing in your direction, occasionally looking away to glance around to make sure that there aren't other people equally as enterprising trying to pull something fast on him. You do manage, Beetle, to separate out 3 items, one of which is a bag of holding, and the other of which is, you already know what it is. And
Okay.
then the third
I'm gonna
item...
identify the dust.
Yeah. The dust is... I just realized I closed my book without writing it down. I am not firing on all cylinders today, apparently.
I'm just gonna kind of hold that in one hand surreptitiously because it seems like it's a small little packet. While
Is
I'm
it the good
looking
one
for
or the
other
bad
stuff.
one, Brian?
Yeah, this is the
They're-
dust of dryness.
Ooh.
You can use an action to sprinkle a pinch of it over water. The dust turns a cube of water 15 feet on one side into one marble-sized pellet, which floats or rests near where the dust was sprinkled. The pellet's weight is negligible. Someone can use an action to smash the pellet against a hard surface, causing the pellet to shatter, releasing the water the dust absorbed. Doing so ends the pellet's magic. An elemental composed mostly of water that is exposed to a pinch of dust must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, taking 10d6 necrotic damage on a failed save. Wow. Or half as much damage on a successful one. That's actually
Super
pretty powerful against...
Super effective against one specific kind of entity.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Beetle is going to, as she does this, she's going to have Tank ordering him to do so via the message spell, distract the guard by farting loudly.
You just asked Dawn to strike up a conversation with them.
No, she can't.
He's, because he's nervous about the bear. And I am going to use sleight of hand to put the potion in my bag of holding.
Okay. Make your sleight of hand check. And all right. Have Tank make a performance check.
Oh. You're cruel.
So Tank's head like swivels around a couple of times. He gets up. He immediately like turns right around and puts his butt right in the guard's face, and you hear this tinny. To which the guard just kind of cocks his head and when he does so, he turns towards you to say something, not being distracted at all. You manage to just barely get it into your pack before his eyes land on you and he goes, "What is that thing doing?"
Oh, I'm still working out the kinks. He's a newborn. I just made him yesterday. Honestly, I don't know what he's doing.
The guard just kind of taps the Tank's butt with his pike with the hollow sounding clang. "Get this thing's back out of my face."
Tank, be a good boy. Sit down and help the guard keep watch.
Tank plops down plops down right on his butt and right on the guard's toes, and he goes, "Oh!" And he just like bang, 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 bang as he's hitting on Tank.
Tank up!
He stands up. Guy kind of gingerly lifts his foot and goes, "Oh, that thing's heavy."
Yeah, sorry about that. Like I said, he's brand new. Most impressive, though, don't you think? I'm fishing for compliments.
Do you say I'm fishing for compliments?
Yes, I do, because I'm Beetle.
The Star Elf guard, the grizzled veteran Star Elf guard, looks at you kind of, and then he just shakes his head and he walks off. He quits.
Awesome. While he's gone, I'm going to toss the bag of holding in my backpack, and I'm going to take the dust too.
All right.
Ah.
So
It's for you. It's for you. I just can't put it in my. I'm just gonna hang on to it for.
In your backpack, you said?
Yeah, not in my bag
okay.
of holding.
Okay, I double checking.
That's our emergency escape plan if TPK is incoming.
Wait, what does it
All right.
do?
It
So,
scatters you into the astral sea.
newly armed with a couple new items.
And a chest with unknown contents.
Yes.
Presumably some small to moderate amount of money.
After that, Beetle's gonna write a note and say, "This man seems to have been a charlatan of some type. Hopefully he's still alive, and I'm not speaking ill of the dead, but there's nothing dangerous here except for that zappy thing and the bag, which we've already given to the guards. Everything seems in order," and I sign it Beetle.
All right,
Okay.
and as we leave, I burn it down. No, I'm kidding.
All right. So, all of the shenanigans being complete at the poor merchant, that is who knows where.
Back at the Dura compound, I present Velis with his new bag of holding. I
I'll,
present Dawn with her new filter of love.
Oh, I'm going to have fun with this one.
Yes, you are. And I hold on to the Dust of Dryness. How many doses of Dust of Dryness is it?
8.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, can I have a healing potion? I'm all out.
Yeah, I probably have a ton of them. Let me see.
I hand you one.
What level? I want a greater.
You want
I
a
only
great?
have a greater.
All right, so picking up at the Steora compound.
After-
Yep, go ahead.
I was gonna say after Beetle hands out her goodies in our common room, Banner will say, "Well, speaking of goodies, I have some rewards, additional rewards from the Empress that need to be handed out. There's this staff here that is very keenly suited for someone interested in nature, someone who transforms into wild animals and savagely attacks their foes and that sort of thing. And so, Velis, I was thinking that this would be perfect for you. And I just sort of lead Lycum along a little bit before I...
You hear this soft growl come from the direwolf.
Velas kind of blinks at you. Yes, I do enjoy attacking things with my teeth.
and I, as I go, I just swing it back to Lycum and I put it in front of him. So the Empress said this was specifically for you.
At which point he retakes his elven form as he looks on the staff almost with a look of awe on his face, and he blinks really fast a couple of times. He's definitely not crying as he takes the staff from you and goes, "Thank you. I've been looking for a good staff for a long time. My staff is yours whenever you need."
Well,
congratulations on your wedding, and that is your wedding
Banner.
present from Banner.
Just kidding.
Beetle looks like, did I just say that? And she's like, ugh.
What did you say? Wait, what did Beetle say?
So I'm
missed
gonna pull Beetle aside, and
Well, hold on. I still have gifts.
I would have done this before all that anyway, because I was gonna show her the chest as she was handing out all the stuff that she grabbed from the place. But okay, whatever, you can go.
Right, let's let Banner finish first.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I was just thought we were starting a new thing. So what did Beetle say though? I still missed that.
Oh, when like I said, my staff is yours anytime you need it. Beetle was like, well.
Wow, I missed that
Oh
one.
boy. All right. She
Well,
went there.
indeed.
And then,
Lycum actually turns several shades of red, and then he turns back into a direwolf.
Yeah, he's right.
then Banner turns back to Velis and says, "But seriously, Velis, I think this would be ideal for you." And he pulls out a small ring, and it slips over two fingers. He's like, "I even put a little surprise in it for you. And for a few moments, at least, the world will know what it is like for there to be 4 Velis Spears."
What?
And I hand him the ring, and I have put Mirror Image in there as a spell to start with.
I kind of look at that and I go, full of me? Why? That would bring so much joy. I don't know if the world could handle it.
Well, that's why it's only for a minute.
Ah, understood. Excellent.
But you can cast spells into that, and get Dawn. It should give you more of allow you to maybe cast some of the spells the rest of us use.
All right, I'm going to add it to your thingamabob here in 1 second.
But Brian will send you the thing.
Yeah,
But basically,
you
we
should
can
be able
put
to
spells-
see it in your journal now.
How many
Oh,
levels
right.
does it store?
5.
5 levels.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a
If you
nice
ever want a
item.
level 2 cure wounds in there, let me know.
Well, it has a level 3 mirror image in there now because Banner put one in there to give it to him, so he can put 2 before he uses that. He could put another level 2 in there.
Isn't Mirror Image a second level spell?
Yeah, but I only have 3rd level spell slots.
All right.
All right,
'Cause I'm a
so let's
warlock.
not ask Banner to put the spells into the ring then.
Exactly, but it was good because it was meant as a gesture to Velis, because now he can have 4 of them.
Yes.
Well, if you want any of the spells I use, including Mage Armor, which might help. I don't know if you wear armor or not, but
I do not wear armor.
Dimension
would
door could be
definitely
pretty
help him
useful
then.
for you. If you don't wear armor, I can just cast it on you at the beginning of every day too.
So Dawn pulls Beetle aside at some point.
Yeah, I,
What's up? That was so fun. Oh my
I
god,
open-
I
I
haven't done
open-
that since I met you guys.
yes. Well, I figured you wouldn't have any need of this, and I opened my backpack and I pull out the metal wood chest and just dink, and it kind of clinks a little bit as it hits the ground. And I say, "Can you open this for me?"
Sure.
It looked interesting, so I
Yeah,
I
acquired
rattle
it.
it.
It sounds like something's in there. Yeah, you're able to open it without too much problems. With actually, it takes you less than 5 or less than 10 seconds to just kind of chink. In the lock, and not a particularly complex one, opens with a audible click. Opening up the small chest, and it is small. You see 47 gold and
50 electrum.
yes, exactly. No, 47 gold and 141 silver.
I use message to whisper to Don, do we share this with Bellis? Does he kind of help us get it? Or do we just split it between you and me?
I messaged you back. Let's just split it between us.
Okay. Again.
Okay, so how much was that?
Best day ever. Oh, it was 47 gold pieces, 171. So you take the extra since you pilfered it. So you get 1 extra silver piece and 1 extra gold piece.
All right, 47 divided by 2, so it's 24 gold.
Banner, as you finish handing out these items and everything, it's not long afterwards, and you look up to see Talia returning with the wolf guard, all of them.
Outside.
Yeah, coming through the main gates to the compound, just kind of padding stately into the grounds. Talia expertly slides off Thornkiller's back and kind of gives him a pat on the flank and a scratch under it, behind his ears, and then she just heads up towards the entrance of the mansion, where you guys are actually on this large porch outside. And you all see her approach. She's very stately in the way she walks, very graceful movements, measured. You get the feeling that nothing she does is without certain amount of calculation, as she regards you all and gives you all a warm smile, but again, that same feeling that it was a calculated smile as well. And Banner, you get the sense that this is the public face of Talia. As she faces you all and she says, House Steora thanks you once again for your service. What is it you will be doing next?
That's a good question.
Well, actually, I hadn't quite told everyone what you told me yet.
I prefer to keep certain things well hidden, though I will tell you all that though I am back, I still require some rest before I'm capable of doing anything of great complexity. However...
Well, and on that note, I would never divulge our secrets, but what I meant was the issue of Anwell closing most of the known pathways between our world and this one.
Oh.
And unfortunately, Don, I'm sorry to tell you that we have to go back the way we came.
Talia looks at you all and kind of nods. And you do see a tinge of regret, and she says, "Sadly, that is true. Many of the portals to Feywild were closed forcibly by Anwell, expelling Banner in the process. It took quite some time to find portals that were to the prime material plane. There are only 2 under our control, and only one of which is, let's say, publicly available. However, Banner did tell me that you arrived via a different gate, one that is, I guess, the equivalent of a couple of your days away. I can safely return you to that, as most teleportation portals to the prime material plane are very situational. Sometimes they show up in the morning and leave or fade at night. Sometimes they only activate during certain seasons in the prime material plane. It's very subjective.
I was under the impression that the portal we traversed through our realm into yours disappeared immediately thereafter.
Ah, well, that is the case, as Banner told me, and it led me to ask the Empress of that, as well as I was spending some time with her to try to salvage what we could of this mess. And it appears that this portal is a daily portal. It opens in the morning, and by twilight it begins to fade. So, if my calculations are correct, it's merely a matter of waiting for it to open once again.
Cool. I actually wouldn't mind. I was going to try to do some shopping today, but we kind of got sidetracked. I wouldn't mind a quick trip back to the market, maybe in the morning before we head out.
As you know, there is no morning here, but you are free to take a rest here if you wish to. As far as the city, well, I can accommodate a quick trip, but I can't tarry long. I have
Are the shops still open?
Well, it's difficult to say. Basically many of the shops are open all the time, and sometimes they close when the merchant gets tired and must sleep. It's very sporadic. Life is quite different here in the Feywild, as you may have gathered.
I've noticed. Talia, can I ask you one question?
You can ask me one, yes.
Okay. You mentioned something, or somebody mentioned something about my people, the Sphearniblin. She would know how to say that. Julia doesn't know how to say that. The deep gnomes. Someone said, I don't remember when, but while I was here, someone mentioned something about the deep gnomes being pushed, or no, the dark elves being pushed into the Underdark when the Empress had I believe someone referred to it as a fit of temper. I was wondering, since my people are from the Feywild originally and then the Underdark more recently, I was wondering, did my people get pushed out there too?
Well, quite honestly, there are many stories about. I think the great challenge here is being able to discern fact from legend. There was a disagreement between the deep gnomes and the Empress at some time several thousand years ago, but I don't think that the Empress would have done something so unfair or unjust as to condemn a race of people to the Underdark had it not been deserved.
Curious.
And she seems as if that's all she's going to say on the matter.
Okay. Well, thank you. I will have to look into this. I have a curious mind.
Curious minds are very good for some things, yes.
I'm very happy to see you looking well.
I'm very happy to be out from under that cursed city. But all that notwithstanding, like I said, my house is yours. I believe you have already been appointed rooms.
Very comfortable.
And if there's anything you need, anything at all you have to do is ask. Within reason, of course. So you wish to tarry here for yet a little while longer?
Just a bit. We won't be over long.
All right then. In that case, I must be about my business. There are some things that even Tolliver is not prone to do, given my absence.
Did you guys catch him?
Catch who?
Tolliver. No, not Tolliver. Anwell.
Sadly, no. When we returned to MS Og, it was empty.
Should we be on the lookout for him then?
I don't think we'll be hearing from him immediately. As to whether or not he services in the near future, I honestly cannot tell you. The Empress alone knows. And even
Add him
she
to our list
seems
of
to be
enemies.
at a guess.
We'll be-
Disconcerting that.
We'll be ready when you're rested.
Yes, well, I'll be here. It's been far too long since I've been home. And I wish to spend some time with my wolves. So if you'll excuse me. And she gives a stately nod and starts heading towards the large kennels, essentially.
You can go play with the puppies.
Oh, yes. And she disappears inside of the kennels in short order. So, what are you guys going to do?
I want to go right back to the market. Anybody coming with?
No, but I ask if you find a scrolled mirror image to buy one for me, and I'll pay you back for it.
Okay.
I want. Banner just wants to real quick when this plane goes by. If you guys, I don't know if you guys can hear that.
No,
but
I can't.
Pull Don aside real quick, and say, Don, I'm sorry. I was planning to tell you that before she got back, and not in front of everyone.
That's all right. I'm sure I'll find another way up north.
We will. We all will.
Don just holds your gaze for probably a moment longer than would be considered normal. And Brian, can I make some sort of roll to attempt to hide my irritation at him, which Don is feeling?
Make a deception check.
All right. Oh, my charisma went up. This is better now.
And Banner, make an insight check.
Okay.
Yeah, you successfully hide your irritation.
I kind of just
as a matter
turn
of
and
fact,
stride away.
as you're staring at Banner, you get the sense that he's kind of oblivious to any expression you would ever make. So you could stick your tongue out at him, and he wouldn't. You wouldn't figure. No, just kidding. Just kidding. He definitely does not see the irritation written across your face.
I subdue it in but a moment.
Where are we headed?
I'm going back to my
Anybody
room.
who wants to go to the market with me is welcome. I have a couple things I want to look for.
All right,
And I have no desire to.
All right, Emeraldi, what are you doing at this point?
Hey Brian, can I make my roll to study Arcana today?
Yeah, you can. How many are you
I'll
up to?
I'm at 7. I lost some because I rolled a 1.
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
Yes! I gained it back.
Nice. Emeraldi, did you want to do any shopping?
Yes, they did. I wanted to maybe look for some new pair of boots.
All right, just regular boots?
Special boots, if I can find them, or have someone help me find something special.
All
Vex
right.
Come
is
with Beetle,
boost to
she'll help you.
haste.
So I'm going to, unless you guys specifically want to spend time role playing this out, I'm going to
Nope.
dispense with that, and let's make just make it a perception check at advantage, since Emeraldi is helping you and Velas is helping you, and you're all
Can
looking
it be
around.
investigation? That's what it usually is.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have 2 items I'm specifically looking for.
Although Emeraldi's
All right.
perception was spectacular.
All right. Dang, Emeraldi, that was a nice roll. Okay, let's start with you, Beetle. What do you want?
I want a portable hole or Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments.
I want an apple that, if I eat it, grants me eternal life.
I want the Acme paint.
What's that pigment? I have not seen that
You
one.
you paint things and then it creates them when you paint them, but
It's
it has
the
similar
best
limitations.
Oh,
It
good
does.
lord.
There's only a certain size of thing you can build, and it has to be simple things. It can't be complex things.
It can't be gold or stuff like that.
Right. You can like draw a bunch of weapons or like a small boat.
Basically,
or a room.
it prohibits you from doing anything I would consider truly fun with it.
You know what? I saved 3 people's lives making a life raft in another game during a huge ship disaster. It's
Like I said.
incredibly useful.
Oh, I see it.
It's very rare, though.
Yeah,
Literally
no,
very rare.
you're based on your investigation check. You're definitely not going to find that.
Okay. What about the portable hole?
Isn't there
Um,
like the token of like the giant fly or something? Isn't that an item in the DMG? I always see that one when I flip through, but I never actually read the entry.
I think it's one of those.
Oh,
figures
can I add one more
with
thing?
power.
I'm also looking for either boots or a cloak of elven kind.
And don't forget the mirror image scroll that Dawn asked you to find.
Oh, and the mirror image scroll that Don asked for.
What level is mirror image?
Second.
Second.
All right.
I just like to keep it for emergencies. I used my last one.
You are able to find the portable hole, but it starts out at 4,500 gold.
Yeah, I can't afford that.
Grab it and run.
The mirror image is just 150 gold.
Okay.
Can you buy 2?
I'm gonna ask if they would be interested in trading 8 doses of Dust of Dryness and an immovable rod for a bag.
You have
for
an
a portable
immovable
hole.
rod?
I do.
How
I
did
didn't
you
know
get
that.
that?
I bought it from that funny dude back in Waterdeep. The what's
I
his face
forgot
guy.
about that.
Yeah. I've
I
never
forgot
used
about
it,
I gotta start writing these
but I
down
would
better.
rather have a portable hole.
Brian, I feel the same way. I don't know what any of you guys have in my campaign.
You just asked this.
All right. What kind of jeez.
Portable hole. That's how you have to say it when you use it. Turns out the portable hole is actually a well of many worlds, and he doesn't know. Just like the bag of holding, bag of devouring mix up.
An immovable rod and what else?
And 8 doses of Dust of Dryness.
All right.
Bag of devouring. We should have kept the bag of devouring. Just like throwing people in it that we didn't like.
The merchant doesn't seem very interested in that. Matter of fact, as you're looking around, most of his stuff is high end. As a matter of fact, he kind of looks down his nose at you and he goes, "Well, normally I only cater to the nobles and the lords and the Empress herself. I don't want any
I've
of
met
your
the Empress.
trinkets." Well, I'm sure you have. And he sounds as if he doesn't believe that whatsoever.
I recently did a favor for the Empress.
Well, how very nice for you.
Does this douchebag have anything else interesting?
Honestly, nothing you can afford.
Okay.
He has a lot of interesting things, but
Yeah.
Boots of Elven Kind. Let me see if I can. That's a rare, right?
I think that's common. Let me look. Or uncommon, I mean. Boots of Elven Kind are uncommon.
Okay. You can get that. You found that for about 450 gold.
Oh, I'll take that.
Emeraldi, what kind of boots are you looking for?
I was thinking maybe something that could help me maybe move farther or maybe enhance combat ability.
Yeah, you were able to find a decent, sturdy-looking pair of boots. They're actually fur trimmed. On the top, it has like this strange, like purple fur on the very tops of it. And he informs you that these boots, he doesn't even have a name for it. He just says these boots tend to make you go faster. And when you ask him, well, is there a name or something for it? He's like, gives you this blank look. He says, name them if you want them. They're 150 gold. And basically, it gives you plus 10 feet of movement.
I'll pay 125.
Make a persuasion check.
What are you bidding for?
Dear God, I rolled another one. He looks at you and he begrudgingly accepts 125 gold.
Deal.
What did you buy?
10 feet movement boots.
Nice. Nice for a dwarf. Oh, did I find that scroll that Don wanted, the mirror image?
Yeah, I said it was 150. What did I say? 150? 150, I think. 145.
Okay, I'll take that too and have her pay me back when I get back.
All right. And you said you bought the boots of Elven Kind?
Oh yeah. I don't have any attunement items. That's my first one. And I have I think I have 4 attunement slots.
So. Yeah, but you got a lot of.
I have a lot of
Other
other
items.
stuff. Yeah.
All right.
I have a lot of minor magic items.
All right. Anything else?
Oh, flying potion. That's the only other thing I would be interested in.
Potion of flying. Ooh, yeah. That is going to be an investigation check all by itself.
Okay. Fellas, will you help me find this?
Absolutely.
Hey, Beetle, can I have a one potion of your normal healing?
I'll give you
yeah,
one.
I've got 2.
I've got several.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
I've got like 8, I think.
Oh boy.
Um,
27.
Ooh, it's very rare. Wow. You do find it. He would be willing to part with it for 800 gold.
How about 300 gold and 4 doses of Dust of Disappearance?
The merchant reluctantly kind of agrees, but you can tell that he does not like you right now.
That's okay. I'm never gonna see him again. 1 potion of flying, that's so exciting.
All right. Anything else? I want to move on.
Nope, I'm done. All done.
All right. Returning back to the Steora compound, the rest of you at the Steora compound, which I think is just Banner and Dawn, are you taking long? You made your Arcana check. Are you taking a long rest after that?
Yeah, once I'm done studying,
All right.
I'll take my long rest.
All right, and Banner.
I'm just watching Dawn from a distance to see if she's doing okay.
I'm in my room. What do you mean you're
Oh,
watching?
I thought you were in the lab.
Peeping Tom.
There.
He's a
However,
peeping Banner.
However, funnily enough, I am going to try, and right before I take my long rest, to use my Ring of Clairvoyance to pop in the sphere in whatever room Banner is in, just to see if I know how it works, and if I can use it. So I quite literally will be looking in from afar.
Oh, well, if you do that while Banner's like on his own, you actually, so I'll describe something to you because you're going to catch him doing something actually. But I'll let your thing happen first. I don't know if there's like.
Well, first, do I do it right, Brian?
Yeah.
My first time casting the spell that
Um,
Dawn with a 9 intelligence has never heard of before.
Ring of Clairvoyance. All right, so where are you trying to create the orb?
Well, do I know where Banner is? Because if I know where he is, I'm going to try and put it in his general area.
If Dawn's in her room, I was
Yeah.
going to say Banner's in his room, and I know
Okay.
exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and pop it into Banner's room. Like, I stick my head out the door and, like, gauge the distance of how far that is, and then go back in and close the door.
Yeah. You definitely can do that. And you do it successfully.
All right, I can't hear, though. I have to choose seeing or hearing. I can switch them, but I can't do both at once.
Right. So,
So
which
which
do you choose?
I'm seeing first.
All right.
I sit down. I open my eyes.
So
What do I
Banner,
see?
what does Dawn see?
It's there. So she just like gets a view of the whole room, kind of deal, or is she like positioned somewhere and looking in?
I can, like, turn.
It's like an orb, it's almost like a camera. Is that the
No,
idea?
it's like a floating orb, but I can. It's just like a sensor. I can look any which way, but I
Okay.
can't move it once
Yeah,
I cast.
we'll assume it's like up towards the
Okay.
ceiling, kind of
Yeah.
stealthily, just hovering
actu-
there.
What you actually see then is Banner sitting on his bed with this glaive laid out on his lap. And when you first look at it, you don't really think much of it. But then you realize, because it looks like the one he's been carrying around forever, it's black metal. It's like that wicked drow style a bit. And then you look a little closer and you see that it's not the same. It's runs black metal the whole way down. And it's looks almost like a more exaggerated version of the drow glaive that he had before. Its edges are just more jagged. Its blade is more serrated. There's sharper points at the bottom of the blade, and it's the entire length. Even the staff is this black. And as you're watching, you see him go, and it disappears, and then it reappears in his hand, and he's just sitting there doing that.
Have I seen anything like this before, Brian? Because Don's freaked out.
No, I don't think you've seen anything like this before.
Okay.
I mean, you've seen Banner summon his glaive as a part of his abilities.
That one time, he actually only ever did that once. He summoned a glaive out of like thin air. He made a weapon appear,
All right.
but
well,
it wasn't this weapon, and it was
Right.
yeah.
Dawn decides to stop invading his privacy and stop looking in on him. She was just testing to see if she could do it, and figures that if she has recently gained abilities, then it's not unreasonable to assume other people have as well, and for the moment will not think more of it.
Okay.
And that's basically what Banner's doing with his time, by the way.
I mean, I just spontaneously learned how to turn into a giant toad yesterday. I'm not going to judge you for being able to make a scary-looking glaive.
All right.
All right, I go to sleep, or meditate.
Yep. You do so. Banner, do you take a long rest?
I do take a long rest.
All right. And the rest of you, after having returned to the Steora compound, you actually, it's been a long time since you guys have taken a long rest. So or
Yep.
gone to sleep. Is that what you all are going to do?
Yep. I
Yeah.
haven't slept in a
long
bed in a
rest.
really long time.
Jeez.
Yes, it's very, very long. So yeah, you guys do so, and get a long rest, uneventful. You all eventually wake up and straggle into the common room that all your suites have together, and you are all reconvening in short order there the next, I don't want to say the next morning, but when you all wake up.
So are we going out to the front of the compound to meet Talia, and then we're transporting, or she's transporting us to the portal that will take us back to our realm, right?
Oh,
Is she
quick
here?
question.
I look around. Is Talia in the room?
Can I
Talia is
have
not.
Okay.
Can I have borrowed the ring of spell storing from Bellis last night, attuned to it, cast a level 2 cure wounds into it, and then given it back to him to attune to?
While
don't think
while he's sleeping?
No, you're right. I guess I couldn't have done that. Never mind. I'll do it another time. I
That
forgot he
I
was
don't think
asleep
you have
when
to
I got back.
attune to it to cast a spell
You
into
do.
it. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's I
Yep.
didn't realize that.
Yep.
It's like a advanced preparation type thing. Then you have to attune to it to use it. So
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
it's still a really good item. You just have
No.
to prep it in advance.
Yeah.
Before I go to sleep, I'll cast a level 2 Cure Wounds into it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That works.
Okay. All right. So, as you all make your way down to the Great Hall, you all see a Talia sitting at the head of the table, eating some fruit and some cheese. You see a goblet, a silver goblet set out in front of her. You also see Tolliver there, sitting, and as you all walk in, he goes, "Oh, hello. So glad that you could make it. I thought you would be forever. You must have been quite all exhausted."
Well,
Yeah.
I had a busy day.
Yes, quite. Thank you, by the way. I'm so relieved to be relieved of duties.
Back to your tuning, eh?
He just kind of looks at you and has this almost offended look in his eyes. He goes, "Tooting indeed."
Bet Shialia's happy too.
With Tolliver actually turns a little red, and he goes, "Well, I think I am done with my breakfast."
I wink at Talia.
Talia is studiously just eating her food and paying no attention as her face remains impassive.
Uh-huh.
And Tolliver he stands up. He looks more than a little offended as he kind of huffs away and slams the door behind him as he goes into the opposite wing of the mansion. Lycum and Beetle, what's everyone's passive perception?
10.
14.
Higher than 14. 15. I couldn't find it. I just knew it was higher than that.
All right.
I just 10.
All right. Emerald, I'm assuming you're not going to be higher than 15 on your
Mine
passive.
should be 13.
No, 10.
All right. So Dawn, in addition to Lycum, but Dawn especially, since you're here, you could swear you hear a soft giggle, almost, and you kind of look, and again, Talia's face is just impassive.
She liked my joke.
I smirk just a little bit. I ask Talia, excuse me, Talia, but are we going to be leaving shortly? I look around, I see everyone has their stuff with them.
Yes. Whenever you are prepared, I can take you straightway.
Oh, in that case, hold up a finger. I'll be right back. I run back up to my room and grab my stuff.
Okay.
As I'm up there, I'm going to take out from my backpack a little piece of parchment and a quill. I'm going to scribble just a little something on it. I'm going to walk out to the hallway. I'm going to take one of the drift globes off the wall. I'm going to fold up my little piece of parchment, stick it in the sconce,
It's an
which
IOU.
says "for services rendered." And then I'm going to cast Major Image to make it look like a drift globe is sitting there. It emanates light and everything. It looks perfectly fine. It'll last for 10 minutes. After I make sure it looks fine, I stuff the drift globe in my backpack and I head back down. I don't tell anyone.
Okay, so that happened.
I love that she won't know which one of us did that.
Well, she knows who it wasn't.
Tito's gonna get blamed.
All right, so a few minutes later, Dawn returns to the Great Hall.
Sorry about the wait. I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Talia sets aside a silver fork and looks up at you all. Are you all prepared then?
Oh, thank
Banner
God a wild magic
size.
surge didn't happen when I did that. That would have been embarrassing.
Bad table manners.
Yes?
Yes, I guess. We're ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I'm
You-
ready.
You don't sound very excited, but then again, I don't blame you. The Feywild is the best place to be. Nevertheless, come around. And she extends her hands both left and right, prompting someone to take her left hand and someone to take her right hand.
Well, Banner takes a hand and starts.
I'll
a
take
chant.
the other hand.
I'm holding Tank on one side and Bert's on my back and Cogs on my head.
And as you all kind of form a circle holding hands, and you kind of look at each other and then at Talia expectantly, across all of your visions, you see the light of, excuse me, fairy lights swirl across your vision and swirl around the space in which, in the center of you all, and it begins to brighten and brighten and brighten, and you get this faint sense of shifting, almost as if you've taken a step, though you know you're standing still, and the next thing you know, you are surrounded by the woodlands in the same clearing that you began the first steps of your journey into the Feywild, with the familiar looking stone archway there. And indeed, it looks as if the archway is beginning to flicker.
On or off?
Make an Arcana check. You cannot really tell. However, Talia just kind of nods at you and kind of settles back for a moment. She says, "It'll be but a few moments."
I won't forget what you told me. I will do my best.
Do we hear this?
Yeah, he says that for everyone. I mean, because he's not divulging anything.
Right. Can I insight check this and try to see if I can glean any meaning from it?
I'm just looking at the portal.
I'm being nosy.
I'm gonna say no, simply because unless Banner outright tells you, there's no way you would know.
Okay. I know he's keeping a secret, and that's it.
Well, I mean,
Well, I wouldn't even say he's keeping a secret. He just isn't.
Talia looks at you and just simply nods. She doesn't bother with the response. But then she does kind of squeeze your shoulder a little bit.
Banner takes her hand for the last few minutes that they're standing together before he leaves.
Before we leave, Dawn just looks over to Talia and just says, "I'm glad you're safe." That's all she says.
As am I. Thank you. She seems at a loss from words, and Banner, she squeezes your hand fiercely once more, and then she says, "My apologies. I must leave. The portal won't be too much longer, I suspect. Banner, it won't be long.
What's that?
It won't be long."
Oh. Well, not for you anyway.
She looks a little sad at that. And then she just begins to fade away in a sparkle of lights.
Banner feels her hand disappear, and he gets like a slight pained look on his face for a moment, and then sort of lets it pass. Doesn't give away too much. Tries to hide it.
It takes about another 10 to 15 minutes before the flickering of the portal becomes faster and faster and faster until finally it just remains a solid portal. And you, through the portal, it's like looking through a simple doorway into another room as you see the first rays of sunlight begin to fall across the glade that you left by your reckoning 7 days ago. What do you wish to do?
Banner just says,
I step through.
Yeah, I step through.
yeah.
I take one last look around, sigh, and I step through.
I do too. I breathe in the air of my Fey ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
Banner waits for everyone to pass through. Banner,
as you go through, Dawn, you feel this wrenching sensation in your heart, as if you're feeling home, or you're leaving home behind. And perhaps it was a little unexpected, this feeling, as you step through.
It
Banner
certainly was, because Dawn has not felt like she's had a home for many months.
As Banner stepped through, he what?
Oh, I said Banner waits for everyone else to go through before once they do, he pauses, looks back over his shoulder towards Sildir, and then walks through.
All right.
Are the bones of the creatures we killed here still here?
Do we all get there? Okay.
So,
question.
As you step through the portal, re-entering the glade in which you fought the spell-plagued young Dracolich a week before, you are actually greeted
By an army of Githyanki who found us and were waiting the whole time.
you are greeted by falling leaves, gray skies, and the chill wind of deep autumn.
What?
Nestled in the tree line.
Wasn't it winter when we left?
Crap.
Wait, what season was it when we left? I don't even remember.
It was summer. There were insects flying, so it couldn't have been anything else.
Okay, so it was summer. So
And I will remind you that the date is on the bottom. The chill winds of the map, yes. The chill wind of deep autumn. Nestled in the tree line, you see a small camp that looks as if it's been there for at least a week. And a thin figure shrouded in heavy blue robes and fur-lined cloak sits idly with delicate hands outstretched towards the fire. A large book resting on the figure's lap.
It's Viral.
Is it Beryl?
Do you approach him?
Hey,
Yeah.
Brian, does anyone need to make their wisdom save for leaving the Feywild?
Yeah,
No.
actually.
No.
Why did you
No.
even say that?
I
Why
was
would you say that?
Why?
I was getting to that.
Okay, sorry. It's just, I know it happens right when you leave. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I just wanted to get that
Right.
piece out. Yeah, everyone make your wisdom saving throw.
Does Beetle's gnome cunning advantage apply to this roll?
No.
What is the save?
Oh
It's a
wait,
magical
you have
effect,
Fey
though.
ancestry. If you have Fey
Yeah.
ancestry, you get.
I don't need to make it either.
advantage.
And neither does Lycum.
Or no,
What is-
yeah, that's right.
We don't. Yeah, we're immune to the effects.
Oh no!
So,
Beetle, you're immune to the effects. You have Fey ancestry.
I know I don't. I'm a gnome.
Oh, you're a deep gnome?
No, gnomes don't have Fey ancestry. It's an elf thing.
Brian, did you say
yeah.
wisdom?
Oh, wait,
save?
wait. No.
Wisdom
cunning
saving
is-
throw, yes. Velis
We have no
and
cunning. It's totally different.
Emeraldy
That's
and
advantage
Alright,
on
I'll be
wisdom
right back
saves
to
against
you, Brian.
magical effects.
I know. He just said it didn't apply.
Oh.
all right.
Fine.
I don't remember creating my bear.
Ha!
I think.
I
Whatever.
Okay, so as you all see this, after stepping through, Banner, you have to make your wisdom saving throw.
He's fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Woo! All right.
It's
Um,
bad luck to help someone, but that's a little too low for me.
I hope Banner. I was really worried about this for Banner because it was such a formative.
Emerald casted guidance, so someone could use that roll of a 3 for their score.
I don't think it'll help.
Wait,
Yeah,
did,
no.
did,
I rolled
did
a nat
Velis
one.
and Beetle really crit
okay.
fail on this?
Yep.
So, Velis and Beetle both. Okay, so this is what happened. This is
Oh,
great. This is great.
um,
Velis and Beetle, you look blankly around the clearing. You remember having just killed that spell plague Draco Lich, and it was like in the middle of summer, and you're looking around, and suddenly its leaves are almost all off the trees. It's kind of chilly out. The Draco Lich looks like it's been there a while. And Beetle, as you stand there, something nudges your back because you couldn't like ride him through. It was too big. So something nudges your back. You look around, and here's this huge mechanical owlbear just kind of sitting there. And when you scream like that, you hear it mimic it in a tinny voice. As a gear begins to kind of grind as he does so, and then he sits down. Boom.
And then I'm like,
I stab it with my rapier.
I haven't
Wait,
noticed
wait,
yet. How
wait.
are you here?
Stop.
wait, what's going on, you two?
What the
Wait,
hell
did
happened?
Beetle tell us about
just-
this before we went in?
We just beat this Dracolic's fall, and then this monster's giant metal.
What are you
thing.
talking about? We just got
How
back.
did my
What are you talking
owlbear?
about? We
Who
just got
built
back
my
from the same
owlbear?
place.
I was supposed to
We
build
just
the owlbear.
the portal is right there. Look at the
You
portal.
did
We
build
just
the
stepped out of
owlbear.
it.
Owlbear. Who could have built it? It's been 5 seconds.
What are you talking
I have
about?
the designs already, and I was
As
gonna
everyone
build
is
them, and it was
yelling-
gonna be so great.
As everyone is yelling,
Look at
Less than a second.
Beetle. Look at your sketch pad.
I do. I have it out, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wait, I didn't draw this, but that's in my
Yes, you did.
handwriting.
yes, you did. We just got back from the Feywild.
Wait,
I don't know what the hell is wrong with you all.
what happened to you two? We
Please
just
cut
got
it out.
back from the Feywild. We
What the
saved
hell?
Talia. We did
It's-
everything.
You think I wouldn't remember being to the Feywild?
You
I'm
Apparently
thinking
not.
about that.
Oh dear. Do I know what this is? Like, do I honest? Does Banner actually know that this is a thing?
Banner, you're familiar with some of the effects with Feywild, so you're familiar with the potential for memory loss.
Dawn just thinks everyone's gone crazy.
Okay, wait. Okay.
Oh yeah, Lycum's actually if a direwolf could snicker, it would be definitely snickering right now as he
Did
just
Life
kind of
make a roll?
watches.
Oh,
No,
he
he
doesn't
doesn't
have
He
to.
doesn't have to.
Oh, okay.
Like him and I are
Is there
special.
any way to
Okay,
get your
so-
memory back?
We went to the
Yes.
Feywild.
Yes, you can.
Did we
Well,
save
you can't-
Talia?
Yeah, we saved Talia. You built an
did.
owl bear. Velis, you heard all kinds of amazing stories, but apparently,
Where are they? Where are the stories?
walking,
And you didn't write them down.
writing. Sometimes I've heard that when people come back, they cannot remember everything.
Well,
That's
there
why
has
that-
to be a way to turn that around, right? There are healing magics, right?
I mean, we could see if there's a way.
Yes.
But we were there.
'Cause I must
And now
have
we're
my memories
back here. Although, what is the deal with the weather? Oh
Looks like-
no! Oh.
Hello.
I'm poking the owlbear and pulling open all his drawers and compartments and like looking in his ears and looking in his mouth and be like, "Oh, you turned out so cool. I can't remember. I don't remember building you. I'm
And you
sorry."
met the Empress of the Feywild. It was both of
Cool.
them. Yeah,
Was she terrifying?
What?
she was amazing.
Yeah,
And
it's
Beetle, you saved her kingdom from Manuel. Although we didn't kill him, so we have to
I
watch out.
did?
Yeah, you found a book that implicated him in everything.
Go
Yeah.
me.
What?
Yeah, yeah. It went exceedingly well considering. Oh yes, and Talia's a werewolf, and now I have some sort of werewolf powers. Or something.
That also is true.
Where
I
are my
freed
boots?
I freed Talia from her prison, risking life and limb for it. It was
That
very
sounds like
brave.
something
I
you
will
would do.
also add that all the magical items that you bought, you have no idea that you have them in your bag of holding.
I will notice very quickly that I'm not wearing the boots that I made.
Oh, you bought those, Velis. There's a ring on your finger. Be careful. It shoots magic spells, and I don't really know if there's anything else. It has some spells in it, and I tell them what they are, and so I don't know if we can fix this. But I'm sorry, and
This is great.
I don't.
And I look over to them and I say, oh, actually, no, never mind. Dawn wouldn't say that. However, she does pull out the drift globe from her backpack, and toss it up in the air. It floats along with me and gives off
Dawn,
its light.
did you seriously do what I think you did?
You don't remember? I asked Beetle to snatch this one for me. She was happy to.
Uh,
Seems
Right, Beetle?
legit.
as
Wow.
I'm standing there and this is all kind of dying down a little bit, I know it's confusing and I know you're going to have to take this all in. And I think we all have something to take in because we left in summer and that much time didn't pass for us, by the way.
Maybe it's only been a month or two. Maybe.
Well, we were only there for the equivalent. It felt like several
Or,
days.
we were only there for 4 days though.
What?
Or something like that it's weird there. I said this to you there. Thank you both so much
I needed that.
for going.
Actually,
Why
by
is
the way,
it
Brian, we've only been out here for like 30 seconds, right?
Yeah,
The portal is still there behind us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I grab Beetle by the arm, and I drag her back to the portal. And I'm in the Feywild.
It's the Feywild!
Oh.
We finally made it!
Oh shit!
Again?
Shit! Right before I do that, I immediately remember that that if this time thing happens again, those guys might be waiting a long time to find me. So I don't do that. I stop right before I start.
I was going to say, oh my god, this is going to get really interesting.
I
So you do not do that.
I do not. I was going to test it, but I realized that
Beetle
could be a
walks like when you start to do that, she's like, "Oh, we're going back in, great!" And she starts walking
Actually,
like she's
what
gonna.
what I was planning on doing would work if we all went back in. But
Do
I
you
don't know
stop
how
her?
long it would-
Yes.
I do.
Oh, but I wanted to see the.
No, you really liked it.
That's
can look
good.
through
I rolled
portal.
a 20.
What would that have been?
If he would have went through and come back through, days became years.
Oh.
I would have rolled new character.
Oh. We would have rolling new characters.
Bye, Dawn.
So you
Um,
you would
by
have
the
been
way,
gone a
man.
minimum of 1 year.
By the way,
Shit.
Banner, who's that? And I point at the other side of the clearing with this person. They're just like
Oh,
watching
there's
us.
so much to process right now. I can't keep up with all of this.
Actually,
Excuse me, you there. I point over.
As you point over, you see that this figure's putting aside the book and standing up and approaching now across the glade.
Do I recognize this cloaked, malevolent figure?
As she gets closer, yes. A delicate hand reaches up and pulls down her hood, revealing that it is indeed Beryl Ruiden. Though not as you remember her. Where before she'd only showed the barest signs of aging despite her advanced years, her face is now noticeably wrinkled. And where before gray only streaked through long blonde locks, her hair was now silver.
An elf aged to gray hair in the time we were gone.
She sees your collective looks of alarm, and she says, "Well, it seems that my desperate escape has taken its toll. But it's good to see that you are all safe. I was starting to worry. Had you not shown up soon, I would have been forced to leave and try to fix this fiasco on my own, and quite frankly, I'm not what I was a mere few months ago."
Oh. As she says that, I just sigh in relief, oh.
Oh, it was because she used all her magic.
Yeah,
Are you all right, Beryl? I asked with genuine concern because she looks not very good, and I just saw her the other day, and...
Well, honestly, no. I am suddenly tired.
Sit and tell us what happened, if you have the energy.
Oh, of course, I've been here for about a week. Come, I have stew waiting. And she makes her way back to the camp. Her camp. And you see that indeed she's settled in. It looks like she's been here for maybe a week, give or take. And she settles comfortably on a stump that looks suspiciously like a chair. And she says, "Well, much has happened, as you can probably surmise. First of all, why'd you go to the Feywild? Where have you been?"
I look over at Banner. I don't know how much he's willing to say, so I'm not going to step on his toes by...
Well, okay.
Well, we took a wrong turn trying to get to Mithranor.
It's okay.
Next thing I knew...
It's okay, Don. Banner pulls the glaive off his back. It's still wrapped up like it usually is because the sunlight issue. He unwraps it, and you all see that it's not what it was, and that it's something new. And it's this, and the same description I gave Don before. And he says, "Well, I am a champion of the Fey Court now for House Stiori."
Steora.
Steora, yes.
I am familiar with the house.
Well, this is the traditional weapon of the Ladies of Wolves.
Are you a Lady of Wolf?
The men, all of them, they have all carried it.
Beryl looks a little surprised, her eyebrows arching, trying their desperately best to climb across her forehead, as she says, "They gave you their ancestral weapon, the house weapon."
I was told occasionally champions may carry it.
Well,
We
that
did them a
is
bit of a service.
We were
unprecedented.
needed there. And as my new position might indicate, I didn't have much choice in the matter.
Yes.
But
such is the nature of patronage. Well, in either case, I am glad to see you returned. Much has happened, and quite frankly, I have not the strength to deal with it all. For the first time since you have known Veryl, her expression looks like she's on the edge of almost tearing up and weeping for just the barest of moments before she schools her features once again, and she goes, well, I suppose I should begin at the beginning. As you know, I was in Silvery Moon tending to the Lady Elestrial. She remained attuned to the mythal over Silvery Moon and had not yet transferred it to Tarn Hornblade, the current ruler of Silvery Moon. A few days before my last journal entry, we received word that the dwarves of and the Knights in Silver that were sent to Mithril Hall to help were in desperate straits. But then a cloud giant tower could be seen on the horizon, moving towards Mithril Hall. Though he was reluctant to do so, King Bruenor called in a favor, from what I hear, of a silver dragon that he had made an acquaintance to, how I don't know, concerned that the current upheaval in the giant society may have garnered some attention of an opportunistic cloud giant.
Upheaval in the giant society?
It's a long story and not related to this. But instead it brought help, or so my reports say. Before the floating tower moved on to wherever it was going, a group descended to the camp of the Knights in Silver that were surrounded by orcish warg riders and found a way into the orc camp where the siege engines were set up. They destroyed the siege engines as well as killed one of their generals and every orc in that small part of the camp. The dwarves and the Knights in Silver, led by Elsbeth the Red, both launched a counterattack. Demoralized, the orcish lines collapsed. Their leader, Tusk, made a run towards the spine of the world with a couple of his most powerful shaman and a group of his best bodyguards. In spite of everyone's best efforts, they were unable to stop him from escaping. This odd group of adventurers call themselves the B-Team. Though I'm not entirely certain what that means.
I think I have an idea, says Dylan.
Sorry, I'm trying to stay in character, but God, this
Maybe
is
they
funny.
don't bring their A game, although it sounds like they do.
Well, King Bruenor asked them if they would pursue Tusk since they were heading to Bryn Shander originally. They agreed, and a few days later, one of their number returned with news that Tusk, his shaman, his bodyguards, all were killed. Tusk is no more.
That's good news.
That is good news.
Unfortunately, as you well know, this was a mere diversion, something that no few number of us had lost sight of. And that is where our troubles began. Again, she looks close to weeping as she pauses a moment. I bear grave news. The Lady Illustrial, the Silver Lady, the founder and creator of Silvery Moon, has been murdered. And Silvery Moon itself has been attacked. And perhaps even now is under the control of enemy forces.
Out of character
No.
question, if I can.
I'm sorry?
Out of character question, if I can.
Sure.
That Silvery Moon's where Velas kind of learned his bardic abilities, right?
Yeah,
That's where the
that
Bard
was,
College
that was
is, right?
your, yep. That,
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Yeah,
you're
Beetle
very
has friends
familiar. You're very familiar with.
That's where I learned
Um,
about some of the stuff in my arm.
Yep. And,
Was it from that woman? I forget.
It wasn't from Lady Illustrial. No.
Okay. I've not met her, have I?
You learned. No one's met her.
Okay.
Velas knows about her, simply because you can't be in Silvery Moon for any amount of time and not know about Lady Illustrial. She was the creator, the founder of Silvery Moon back when it was just a trading outpost. And she was the one that was instrumental in the literal building up of this city. She created the mythals that now are on the city, and for apparently up until the day of her death, was responsible for keeping those mythals powered and up.
Do you know who did this?
Yeah, I'm not certain. I'm not certain what even happened. It all happened so quickly. She
How
rubs her.
could Silvery Moon? That's no small village.
No, and that's. I was awoken from my sleep by horrific explosions. Nearly 20 iron-proud Githyanki airships had poured in from the astral plane and attacked the city. The mythal was weak and its wards broken quickly. The spell guard had just begun their arcane response when arbalist bolts with great chains attached to hulls tried to pierce the hulls of the armored ships, but to no avail. I immediately flew, of course, to Illustrial's chamber, but I was too late. Several spell swords in advance of whatever force was coming had attacked the palace. The trail of bodies that led to her rooms were horrific. And when I reached her rooms, her neck was cut as she lay defenseless. The guards defending her also neatly slain. I arrived just after that. I attacked the assassins, of course. They were good, and I was ill-equipped. As I realized in my haste, I had forgotten to take the time to bring my things, my staff, my components, all of those things, my focus. Honestly, had it not been for Darren and Dane, I would have perished, but in the middle of it all, Darren roared in, followed by Dane, and in desperation, all I could do was to reach out to you. I used whatever power I had left to fuel my teleportation spell, using your tome, the magic of your tome, as an anchor. And the next I remembered, I was looking up into the face of Dorodur.
Well, we can fill you in on what happened from there.
I need to return to Silvery Moon. But I don't know what I face. With or without you, I must go. This is something beyond anything that's happened before. Silvery Moon has never fallen.
I have friends there too. I have to go too.
The teachers.
Silvery Moon must be recovered. It's too important. What would they want with it? I mean, all sorts of things, but what specifically?
I can't say. Dorodar told me, of course, what he believes to be their aims, to resurrect the dead god Moender.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know.
Surely
what-
such a thing is impossible. Don scoffs.
Well,
Not much is impossible when it comes to the gods.
If there is,
honestly, I don't. Worshipping a dead god is not enough to bring him back to life, of course. He is, after all, a dead god, but there is a loophole. Call it the result of a heartbroken father's heart. There's a legend, mind you, and a very vague legend, but anyway, it's said that Ao cries over the death of each of his children. He is, after all, their father. Regardless of what else they may have done, yet Ao is wise enough to know that certain things should not normally be undone. And so he stores away his tears, unwilling to disrupt the natural order of life that he himself has ordained, which applies even to his children. Even so, the legend has it that should a dead god have enough worshippers, they may travel to his corpse in the astral plane, pour a small portion of a tear from Ao over its bones from the chalice of creation. It is said that when that occurs, a dead god can be brought to life.
That's not good.
What that has to do with Silvery Moon and what that has to do with all that they are doing, I honestly don't know. This is as much of a surprise to me as to anyone. A horrific one.
is the
I'm terribly sorry, but could you back up for just a moment? Who is the god that they're trying to resurrect?
He's one of the three that the cultists we've been dealing with. You know, before we set out on this journey, the cultists we were dealing with, he was one of the three evil gods that they worshipped.
What was his
I
name?
found this, remember? And I pull out the stone I keep in my belt, the crystal. This glows around places that have been made.
Right.
holy
But
to
what
his
was his
followers.
name?
Moander. It's
Moander.
Moander.
Oh, and what was he the god of?
Moander, an ancient deity of rot, corruption, and decay.
Yeah, that.
Back about 1,000 years ago, when he lived, he was called the Darkbringer. He never had a large following, but various cults had venerated Moander since the rise of Nethril 3,000 years before.
Nethril.
Ah,
Related to Nethril.
no, I don't believe it is, but it is the same time period that Moander rose to power and achieved godhood.
is it
I look-
possible?
Unfortunately, that is about all I know.
Is it?
Where exactly are we right now physically?
We're in the Yearwood.
Yeah.
It's center of the map, more or less.
Yeah,
Is-
here, let me see if I can ping you
Got it.
there. Yep, there you go.
So,
Is it
Vero, we've only been
poss-
gone a month or two, right?
As far as I can tell, 7 weeks by my
Okay.
reckoning.
That's not as bad as it could have been.
Nevertheless, time has been quickly going by, and it's been nearly 2 months since I left Silvery Moon.
Is it possible that there is some sort of relic or rallying point at Silvery Moon?
It's
Those sound like two different things, Ben.
Well, I'm
anything is
thinking-
possible. I don't know. That's why I told you. I don't know why they want Silvery Moon.
What I'm thinking, and I learned recently in the Feywild that I should think more about why people are doing things if I wanted to build followers, the most easiest way to do that is to have a place for them to gather, a rallying point, a pilgrimage to make. And I just wondered if that was something that could be there, if you knew of something like that.
I don't suppose that this chalice of creation you mentioned could be somehow stored or hidden in Silvery Moon somewhere.
It is
If
quite.
that is what they're after.
It is quite possible. The Lady Illustrial did keep a few very powerful artifacts in her possession at the palace.
Emeraldy pipes up. Remember when a few of us did that favor for you in that tomb? It was a long ago
Kittis.
Oh,
left
yeah, Ketis.
after thing that you wanted the paladin, the broken paladin. They wouldn't have tried to find that tomb at
No.
that dark people.
No, that place, as far by your own account, has been taken care of.
Mm-hmm. That one was related to the Marilith Queen.
The Lady Illustrial was and is, was. It's still an adjustment. I can't believe she's gone. But in addition to keeping artifacts, she was the chosen of Mistra. One does not easily and lightly kill a chosen of a god.
It seems like an awfully big show to put on just to find one relic that exists in the city that could have been taken by subterfuge and stealth, most likely.
Maybe for some reason they couldn't.
Maybe.
I suspect we won't find any answers sitting around here.
No, we've got to get
We
there.
can speculate as much as we want, but as much as I hate to say it, I think Silvery Moon
I
is
do
the
have a
place to be.
question. How would someone obtain a tier of ale?
Dawn is still rather skeptical about this whole claim of resurrecting divinity, but since everyone else is taking it seriously, she figures she may as well.
Banner is surprisingly taking it seriously, and normally he would not.
Velas is just sitting there kind of stunned. It doesn't seem like it's registering to him that Illustrial could actually be dead.
Well, Velas, this all happened incredibly quickly for you. You suddenly summer became fall, and we told and there's this giant mechanical owl bear next to you, and we just told you like a minute of the abridged version of the events of the Feywild, and now all of a sudden we're told that a dead god is about to kill everyone.
As
crazy
far as
pit-
I can understand, it is a very complex and very powerful ritual. Not easily done, and quite frankly, I only know that it's a ritual. I don't know the details of the ritual. There's just mentions of it, allusions to it through various books. It's a trail of breadcrumbs through history that I myself have only passingly taken mental note of over the past 250 years. Of course, it never occurred to me that someone would actually be interested in doing that. Much to my chagrin.
What would happen if Moander was alive again?
I don't think anyone can answer that, Benner.
Wait,
Well, I can tell you what happened when he was alive. Pockets
Wait.
of his...
so
Yes.
we, as far as I know, we haven't even been gone. And from what you, Banner, Lycan, Dawn, Emeraldy say, we've been gone 4 days. So assuming you guys are right, that in 4 days,
No, my dear
the
Velas,
siege has been broken.
You've been gone for nearly 2 months.
Time moves differently between here and the Feywild. I know that much.
I look at you and I go, But we haven't even been to the Feywild yet.
Apparently we have, and I point to the owlbear.
So Veryl turns to you, Velis, and says, Velis, you have been gone for nearly 2 months. Into the Feywild, whether you remember it or not.
Okay. So, Illustrial's got... What?
She's dead.
She can't be dead. She's been around longer than Earth.
Everyone dies, Velis. Don says
Wait,
somewhat bitterly.
this lady is immortal?
She's
Well, she's just... she is Silvery Moon. If she's gone, it's gone.
Taryn Hornblade, I suspect, still lives. I, of course, do not know, but it's hard to imagine such a wily wizard being easily laid low. But then again, I would have said the same of the lady.
murdered in her
So-
own bed.
So, Veryl, how do you suggest we go back home?
Well, I can teleport us, of course.
Beryl,
Wait.
you were starting to tell us what happened when Moander was alive before.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. Sorry for interrupting.
What are we up against?
Honestly, I prefer not to think about it. It's something better left in the past, but maybe that in itself should be enough. The pockets of Moender cultists spread disease and decay wherever they were. More likely they would be found in the deep forests or jungles of the world, as if that was usually the places that they found the most refuge until Dorodar began helping us. Angry at the festering rot that creeped through his forests, that began to sicken he himself at some point. Because he is interminably linked to the forests of the world. It was not always so, but somehow he's, like the slow growth of most nature, has crept slowly but surely towards godhood himself. Though very few realize it. But I digress. Sickness, disease, decay. It began in Kalimport, this particular plague, and killed nearly 400,000 by the time it was done, and the cult of Moander completely wiped from the face of Faerun. It took us several years to do so, even with Dorodar's help. The only way we could finally do that was with the desperate cooperation of the rulers of most kingdoms, which is saying something, as you know, rulers seldom agree on anything. But they agreed on this one thing, that Moander must go. Keep in mind, this was back when the Elven Empire was at its height, before Nethril tried to impose its will upon Mithranor, before Holandeth came crashing down, destroying Mithranor, before the demise of the Elven Empire, and before the rise of the humans. The face of this earth, the face of Faerun, was much different then. A little more wild, a lot more sickly. And we ground civilization out of that, to be taken, and she looks almost apologetically at you, Velis and Banner, by the humans. If Moander had his way, the rot and decay that began in the forest would have spread throughout the entirety of the world's nature, would have spread to every city. The sickness was merely a means to an end. It was not the death he sought. but the sickness, the decay. He wished the world to rot. And in the core of that, he would be brought to greatest power to be able to challenge Ao himself.
That sounds bad.
It sounds.
Sounds real bad.
It was bad. Thankfully, our clerics and our mages, our war wizards, the paladins, all work together. Every chapter of every good god, and surprisingly, even a few lawful evil gods. I shouldn't say lawful evil. That was too meta.
Yeah.
Even a few evil gods. Because they realized that the rise of his power meant the decline of theirs. There is a certain balance that by default is kept. One god rises too far, and the other gods inevitably enter the fray. If not just simply because it's good versus evil, then simply because of rational self-interest. This was a silent war, a war that's lost in history. Not much is known or written, and for good reason. There are things better left unsaid, discoveries better left hidden, because if the world were to discover them, well, then you have the loss of Silvery Moon and the potential of this vague reference to a ritual. Which brings me to my task. My task is simple. I am returning to Silvery Moon to try to free it from whatever boot heel it is under. Try to find Hornblade if he still lives, because he alone is capable of attuning to the mythos of Silvery Moon. And if he is capable of attuning to the mythos of Silvery Moon, then perhaps we have a fighting chance. And I do not know what I am going into. And for that I give you the choice. You may go your own way. I do not impose my will on you. But I ask, you have begun this with me. Will you continue this journey with me?
It's been 7 weeks since you've been there. Is it not entirely possible that this raiding party of Githyanki just burned the city to the ground, have razed it?
It is possible, but without knowing for certain, I simply can't not just go back.
Of course. Of course.
I wished I had more information for you, obviously, but until I've only been here a week, and I've been so weak. I still retain, of course, my abilities, but after using the more powerful of my abilities, I am often stricken weak. Getting here, Dorudar had to bring me here.
Well, I think I speak for my group when I say that as much as we have our own tasks that we would like to take care of, we cannot let a situation like this go uninvestigated. We can't possibly let the city of Silvery Moon lay under threat of destruction or who knows what else. Don sighs a little bit and just looks around for everyone else for some form of validation.
Yes.
Marissa's knee deep in this, and she's my responsibility.
Ours.
Marissa. Well, what makes you think she's involved? Not that I disagree.
We saw her on one of the airships that chased you here when you teleported here. We had to escape from them before we could tend to you.
Lycum carried you while we were being firebombed by their ships.
Yes, well, Dorodar said I smelled of wolf. He will never let me live that down.
Are you two okay, by the way? And I look at Beetle and Velis.
Oh,
I
I'm
know this
super
has been a lot
bummed.
to take in, Beetle and Velis, but I promise as soon as we are able to, we'll find a way to get you your memories back.
I reach up and I touch Tank, and I'm like, someday I'll remember building you and how awesome that must have felt.
I don't mean to hurry you, but I have been waiting a very long time for your return, and quite frankly, if you had not showed up by tomorrow, I would have gone myself.
I'm ready.
you can teleport us now. Let us go.
I can't.
I take one last look northwestward toward Mistranor and just shake my head and I say, I'm ready.
We'll get there, Dawn.
Banner walks back to the portal, whispers something, and says, I'm ready.
Emeraldy asks, well, I never got a chance to change back into my armor. And whenever we teleport, I'm going to need to be re-armored. Someone could help me.
I think now would be a good time. I'll help you get it set up.
Thank you. Here's Van braces.
Yes. Go ahead. After all, have to pack up yet. And with a kind of a flick of the wrist, all of a sudden the camp begins to fold in on itself, and the tent folds itself. It comes down, and those of you who are of the arcane slant realizes that there are a couple of unseen servants busy at work.
We hear Disney music played.
Beetle takes this time to like start going through her stuff, and you hear like,
Wait,
oh, where did I get this? And then all of a sudden you hear like this shriek of like pure joy, and she's like, I have a potion of flying!
I was just going to say, we spend some time at least making sure they know what they have.
Yeah.
I fill them in on
this
the
is
bare
what
bones of
spells
what
are in your
happened.
ring.
So basically, I will assume the following. Number one, Emeraldy gets his armor on. Number two, that you spend the time informing Beetle and Velis the
gist
rough
of what
details of what happened in the Feywild.
I still leave Beetle convinced she's still the
Unfortunately, Velis, they could not recite back to you the stories that you have heard because they weren't with you.
But
We were there for
You'll
the
get them
first
back
one.
someday.
Or they don't.
Yes.
They don't have the perfect recall of a bard.
Yeah.
We'll say.
Yeah.
And at the end of 10 minutes, having the unseen servants just dropping all the camp materials into this bag, which is indeed a bag of holding, the councilwoman puts the bag of holding on her back, and she says, please gather around. And you notice that she does not have her staff still, though her amulet begins to glow brightly, and you realize that is her focus. You kind of get the sense that she found some kind of makeshift focus to suit her needs for the time being. You all gather around, and
can I say something to her as she's
Sure.
charging up that spell? I look over at the amulet, I see it glowing. I just ask, so, every time I see a mage, a wizard, a sorcerer, whatever, they get ready to cast a spell, I always see them, they have an object, they hold it, they make a gesture, this object they hold seems to contain or channel the power. What are those?
and as you ask her, she
Donna's with genuine misunderstanding because she doesn't know what magic is or how it works, and she doesn't use one.
And she doesn't answer because she's actually, there's a verbal component to the teleport spell.
Oh, sorry. I know that part.
So,
I'll ask later.
Yeah, so she's looking at you and at the same time trying to maintain concentration while she casts the spell. And the world shifts. It unlike the previous experience with Talia, it was more of a blank use where you may have all batted your eyes, but just like that, you found yourself on a hilltop south of Silvery Moon. And as you look upon Silvery Moon for the first time, your breath catches as you see a terrible sight of smoke rising from the city. 5 airships hovering over it, fiery casks being casually dropped down into the city and to add to the inferno, along with the muffled reports of detonations that can be heard from your position nearly a quarter mile away. Toward the eastern side of the city, hovering over where, Velis, you know the palace to be, the high spires of the palace, the white walls, are now obscured as a huge blue vortex of arcane power swirls with blue bolts of arcane power, occasionally arcing through the sphere of its event horizon. The vortex is enveloping the high palace. The clouds are black, and it is as if the city of Silvery Moon is under perpetual night. Well, that concludes this episode of our Forgotten Realms D&D campaign. If you have enjoyed this video, remember to hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please hit the subscribe button to support this channel. You can also watch us live on Twitch TV every other Saturday, and you can follow us on Twitter. Both links are in the description down below this video. Until next time, have a great day.